Thousands of travelers are stuck at the Lebombo Border Post this Christmas Day. The checkpoint between South Africa and Mozambique has since seen long queues, with vehicles backed up for several kilometers. The Border Management Authority is processing more than 25,000 people daily. Meanwhile, just over 250 people have been arrested. That's for attempting to cross the border illegally. Scara Mafokaone is monitoring developments at the border and joins us now live. Scara, even yesterday, we just saw some dramatic scenes where there was people trying to cross the border illegally, or just people waiting in traffic for hours on end, looking to just cross the border. What's the situation looking like this morning? Good morning.
Good morning to you, Arabile, and good morning to our viewers. You'd think we're at the border, Arabile, but we're actually 10 kilometers from the border. The scenes you're seeing here right now, this is as far as we can get from the border, 10 kilometers. I say, these people told me that they have been stuck on this traffic from as far back as Malilan, which is about 20-30 kilometers from here. Since last night, they spent the night in their cars. They've been on the road for more than 2 days, Arabile. As you can see, excuse me, there is some kind of movement. So they are letting in a few cars to move just a few meters. Then they stop them again. They're trying, which is the Mpumalanga traffic officers, they are trying to move the cars as fast as they can, they say. This wasn't anticipated, however. We expected a lot of traffic yesterday, but then we were told that by midnight at least, it would have cleared. People would have been stamped their passports and crossed over to Mozambique. I'm moving closer to this gentleman here, the driver of this car. And Dada, how are you? I'm okay, sir. How long have you been on the road?
Since from 2:30.
Yeah. Yeah, you look very, very exhausted. So you and your family slept here in the car?
We didn't sleep. Yeah, we didn't sleep.
Yeah. What do you think, because you are a Mozambican national and you're used to crossing the border, as you drive slowly and carefully, I see there's a little bit of space. Has this always been like this congestion near the border?
No, last year they happened like this. Yeah, they happened like this last year.
And in terms of refreshments, if you slept here in the car or you didn't sleep at all, are you hydrated? Do you have water? Do you have refreshments?
Yeah, I drink water. I drink the Red Bull as well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, sir. The other frustration, Arabile, when we were here last night was that there are filling stations near where we are, and what happened was they were running out of water, energy drinks and snacks at the filling stations, even fuel for that matter. So it was raising a concern because these shops were unable to stock up on some of those items. I mentioned yesterday in the morning when I spoke to you, Arabile, that some of the commuters get out of the vehicles and start walking as far as 10 kilometers. They start walking towards the border. So what happens is that when they get to the border, their passports are stamped and they are processed. And then what then happens is that they wait for their mode of transport across the border, which may take several hours, Arabile. So I'm walking as fast as I can. There is a taxi driver who I was meant to speak to, who's very exhausted. He says he's been on the road for 2 days and he was tired. And he still has about 500 kilometers after crossing the border to go. But they were hoping that they were going to spend at least Christmas with them. Right now, they are not sure. As you see, some of the vehicles or some of the taxis are loaded with grocery. And they say the grocery was meant to be cooked and prepared for their Christmas meals. Here he is, the gentleman I spoke to. Dada, thank you so much. I finally caught up with you. You are the driver of that taxi. As usual, you are used to being on the road, but you told me that you were exhausted and you still have about 500 kilometers. He's going to speak in Chisonga, Arabile, and then I will translate after. how you've enjoyed the hours of driving on the road and how tired you are.
Oh, yeah. Sweswa karalisa vela porque sukile busikwini atolo kuzwa itafika la hekuma line leyi so loko ni jumpa border akufika nyambana ka hi more than 500 kilometers so ke ma driver hi two ancedana baba loko karala loyi na huma ku nghena mun'wanyana a drive se mara ali sharp como ivona a tiyile itafika.
But you were frustrated as well that this is not, it's unprecedented. You're not used to this. By the 25th on Christmas, you already have crossed the border.
And it's him. Mara, ngiyoshala swa ku I cross yawa. Yayivona kani mashaka ni vangani. Mara, loko 3 hours na I jump ta yayivona itafika.
So a journey that would take him, thank you so much, a journey for this 10 kilometers that are left to get to the border, a journey that would take him usually about 10 to 15 minutes is going to take 3 hours, and he still has about 500 kilometers to drive. He was hoping to spend Christmas with his family and friends, he tells me, and that he'll be back in the country in South Africa by the 29th. He still needs to come back and ferry more people across the border. This long queues, which people left a lot of people frustrated, Arabile. We're not certain as to what, we haven't confirmed what causes it, but then what we were told as late as 8 o'clock last night was that there seems to be a congestion on the Mozambican side. What happens, Arabile, is that once these nationals are processed into Mozambique, then there's a congestion that side, which then affects the South African side. I must indicate that when we had a conversation with the BMA, as I allowed Tapelo to show you some of the people leaving their taxis and their buses. Now, the concern again is that they have kids with them. Now they're walking for at least 10 kilometers, which I'm looking at that small child who could be around 4 to 5 years. I'm not sure how she's going to have walk the 10 kilometers towards the border. But as I indicated, the Border Management Authority told us yesterday that they had 4 operational processing points, one of which was at kilometer 7, that is 7 kilometers before the border. The second one was the walk-ins, which will be these people you see. The third one will be for trucks when they get to the border to be processed. So those are some of the ways they said they were mitigating to avoid this congestion. But however, once they cross into Mozambique, there's only one processing point, and then that's where the congestion occurs. That's what they told us, which leaves a lot of people frustrated. I had an opportunity, Arabile, to speak to a gentleman who was traveling with his wife and a 7-month-old child. And the concern they raised and the frustration they had, Arabile, was that their child, their toddler, had run out of food, like purity. So it was concerning, and he told me as well that the baby was out of nappies because they were on the road for 3 hours. They were hoping that when they got to towns like Komatipoort, they would be able to stop and get some items. Now, I spoke earlier that some of these shops have run out of refreshments. He told me that he went to the local supermarkets around and they were simply out of items to sell him. So that was part of the frustration. Earlier on, just now actually, I looked back, there was a car which was overheating. You've got instances of cars now which are now causing the delay as well, because they have a puncture or they overheat and then stop along the way. So this is the frustration that is being faced by these people. As you see, law enforcement, these are South African police services patrolling the oncoming traffic from the border going towards Nelspruit because they're trying to open up. Because when you see right now where they're going, these cars which are going towards the border were starting to come onto the oncoming lane. So they're trying to move them so that everybody occupies the 2 lanes that are designated to go to the border. Yesterday when we spoke Arabile, the mess on the road was that cars going towards the border were going onto the oncoming traffic, causing major havoc. So those South African Police Service officials, as you would see them, they are trying to move the cars towards the right-hand side so that at least those leaving the border, going into the towns like Malelane and Nelspruit, won't be stuck in this traffic. Arabile, you spoke again in your intro about the arrests that were effected. Over 250 people have been arrested trying to cross the border illegally. So in the last 3 days, I must say the 350, these people were caught on the Lebombo mountain, which is not far from the airport. Now, we had an opportunity again to go up that mountain, Arabile, and you know, I witnessed a group of people trying to cross the border. They crossed the border. They were successful in crossing the border. Now, it's another concern because there's a village just across that mountain, which was a concern for the organization, the BMA, saying that what these people do, they cut the fence and then they simply just go over the mountain and across to Mozambique. The other concern they had is that they are monitoring, they're surveilling the area, so they would see people on the drones. By the time the South African National Defence Force are on the floor, or rather they get on the ground, they simply would be overwhelmed. Now, these are live scenes. I'm trying to move to see if I can get this lady's attention who's walking with her daughter. Sissy, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm okay. You look very exhausted. It's Christmas Day. Surely you were hoping that you'd be home by this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good, and you? I was hoping that we can get home by at least 2 in the morning, but we're still stuck in here.
What are you traveling by taxi or by your
Private car.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where are you going now? I see you're walking with your daughter.
We're just walking because we are tired of sitting in the one place. At least we're going to find a garage and buy water.
Oh. And some of these people have got like groceries on this in their cars. They're hoping that you would have cooked a good meal for Christmas. Are you still hopeful that you'll spend Christmas with your family?
But it's still early in the morning. Maybe we can make time for Christmas. Okay.
Not a problem. Thank you so much and all the best. As I release them, I just want to just lastly, Arabile, in this taxi, look, the driver is simply tired and they still have some kilometers to cross. He's, I would assume, taking a nap there with his passenger. So the other concern would be that most of the drivers now are fatigued, and with some hundreds of kilometers after crossing the border, it will be a concern now of their energy levels being very low. But we'll continue, Arabile, to monitor the situation here near in Komatipoort, near the border, and we'll bring you updates as and when we can.
Scara, thank you so much for giving us that update. It certainly is, to say the least, an exhausting situation for many commuters.